Kelsey. How are your intellectual pursuits coming along?
I've been reading about these proteins for hours.
Kelsey, our test is on Animaulz, and it's pronounced proteins.
What are Animaulz?
Kelsey, our test is in 2 days.
I don't think my textbook even has anything on animals. Dude, it's not even for sale in the United States.
That would explain it. But where'd you get it then?
Internet.
I think we need to make a trip to the zoo, young lady.
Why would I go to the zoo when I can go to, like, Petco and see cuter animals for free?
Because Petco animals are not in the test. And you're going to be flipping burgers for the rest of your life if you fail out of another AP.
I love burgers! This book is not for sale in the United States.
Kelsey, we're going to the zoo now.
Wow, so this is a zoo? What are we going to see first?
Let's go look at the TT monkeys. They're my namesake, you know, and they have some really special behaviors that I think you should see.
What are behaviors?
Behaviors are actions by muscles under control of the nervous system in response to stimuli.
Wait, what's their nervous system?
Stop! That's for another video.
Oh, Kelsey, look, I'm so adorable. I don't understand. These are just dumb monkeys with super long tails.
Kelsey, you have to learn to appreciate romance. These TT monkeys are monogamous, you see. That means that one male and one female breed for life. Some other animals have different mating systems, like promiscuity, without love, without hope, without pair bonds, and polygamy, where one animal of one sex mates with multiple of the other.
Yeah, get some. I mean, that's disgusting.
No, Kelsey, the mating habits of animals are infinitely fascinating. And this is really special. The father is the main caretaker for the infant. He brings it to the mother only for nursing. This kind of behavior is really rare in the animal kingdom, since males usually play little to no role in raising their young, instead maximizing their reproductive success by leaving to produce offspring with other females.
That makes sense to me.
Excellent.
Wow, look how long their tails are. They're like natural scarves for winter, and they're like so warm and like fluffy. I want to pet them.
No, Kelsey, I wouldn't get too close if I were you. TT monkeys are extremely territorial. Although they rarely engage in actual fighting, they'll defend their territory by chasing off intruders and yelling at them. And they usually do it in one big family, so that each family has 2 to 7 members.
They're cute! I don't see the resemblance between you and these TTs. No. Wait! Oh, it's for me. Here's what he said.
Scientific name is Platalea ajaja.
I'm sorry.
Stop. You're an infant. Now let us learn about these fascinating spoonbills. We have a pink moon, which causes many Floridan herds to think that they're seeing flamingos.
No, that's not a flamingo.
Is that for real? But they're so ugly. They don't even deserve to be pink. That one looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Insolence. The spoonbill gets its pink color from a diet of carotenoid-rich organisms such as shrimp, and its foraging or food-obtaining behavior is quite particular. It sticks its beak partially open inside the water and sweeps around. When it feels the touch of something that could be food, it stamps its beak shut.
So does the ugliness help or what?
Kelsey, look, everything you see here exists in a delicate balance. You must understand that balance and respect all creatures, from the crawling ants to the leaping antelope.
Like TT, don't we eat the antelope?
Yes, Kelsey, but let me explain. When we die, our bodies become the grass. The antelope eats the grass, and so we are all connected in the great circle of life.
I don't get it.
Look, it's ugly.
I get it. Oh, it's for me. Here's what he said.
But in all seriousness, foraging takes a lot of calculation and fine-tuning to reach the optimal foraging model, where the benefits of energy gain are maximized and the risks are minimized. One of the most significant potential risks to a forager is risk of predation.
OMG, like, who cares? Food is like the best thing ever.
Easy for you to say, since you're kicking it at the top of the food chain. But animals such as the spoonbill have to worry about the risk of being eaten, thus compromising between the benefits of nutrition and the cost of energy expenditure and predation.
Gosh, being a spoonbill is hard. How do these animals even keep track of all these things?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Natural selection based on reproductive success can explain certain behaviors such as these. In a given environment, certain traits lead to greater relative fitness, which means that an individual can contribute more to the gene pool of the next generation. Natural selection acts directly on phenotype and indirectly on genotype via how the genotype affects the phenotype.
So, are these spoonbills monogamous too?
Why, yes they are. I'm glad you asked. Isn't it romantic? And their courtship rituals are fascinating. In fact, the male spoonbill will actually try to impress the female spoonbill by bringing her gifts, like nesting materials.
Nesting materials? Really? I think you should try like flowers, chocolate, maybe a 24-karat gold ring since he's kind of ugly. You know, he has a lot to make up for. He could take her on like a luxurious trip to like Hawaii or Fiji.
Do you even know where Fiji is?
Of course. It's an island. It's in the ocean.
Actually, birds do migrate, meaning that they partake in regular long-distance changes of locations. For example, spoonbills prefer the marshes and estuaries along the Gulf Coast during the summer, and they prefer warmer environments during the winter, such as the South and Central Americas.
I can barely find my way home every day. How do spoonbills know when and where to go? There's no way they're smarter than I am.
Well, migration is both triggered and guided by environmental stimuli. For example, while traveling past environments previously not encountered, birds can orient themselves according to the sun and the stars.
What if you can't like see them? Like, you know, sometimes during the day, you can't even see the stars.
Well, another hypothesis says that some birds have bits of magnetite in their heads, so they can adjust themselves according to the Earth's magnetic field.
It's gross.
They can also adjust themselves by means of a circadian clock, which is a 24-hour internal rhythm or cycle. No, which is an
That's gross. That's gross. Let's migrate.
Wait, which scene are we on? Or right
Here, I actually like know about these monkeys. These monkeys are the ones that people go on like street tours with, and they point them as like mascot, and they can like open microwaves for like disabled people, and it's like so cool.
What do you even do in your free time?
I mean, I eat a lot, but I also want to blog. It's a full-time job.
You should look into that. But actually, yes, you are right. Capuchin monkeys are extremely intelligent. They have great cognition and problem-solving skills. They're one of the few primates that can learn to use tools, like the great apes, or even yourself.
Are you calling me a monkey?
On second thought, I'd like to reevaluate the evolutionary extent of your cognitive capacity. They exhibit social learning too. This means they learn by watching others. Baby capuchins will learn to crack nuts by watching their elders do it with rocks once the nuts have turned brittle. Social learning is really neat. It forms the roots of culture, a system of information transfer through social learning or teaching that influences the behavior of individuals in a population.
So, are these monkeys monogamous too?
Good question. Actually, they're not. Do you remember when we talked about polygamy?
No.
There are actually two subdivisions, polyandry and polygamy, which is what these monkeys live in, when one male mates with multiple females, and polyandry is the opposite.
So, the alpha male can like mate with whoever he wants?
Well, I'm certain there's...
TT, good thing you're a TT monkey, you would never get laid. So are we monogamous or polygamous? Sometimes I can't even tell. Wow, TT, look, this group is a lot larger than a TT monkey group.
Very observant of you. Yes, capuchin monkeys live in larger groups because instead of just a related family, capuchins live in communities with a couple males, one alpha male, many females, and their offspring.
Oh, so like a harem.
They mark their territory with urine and interact through mutual grooming and vocalizations. These are examples of signals, stimuli transmitted from one animal to another. The transmission and reception of these signals constitute animal communication, which can be tactile, auditory, chemical, or visual.
Great communicating.
Kelsey, I think we have to be on the same intellectual level to really communicate. Oh my god, Kelsey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Don't you think it's interesting though that we would be looking at our evolutionary cousins right now? Yet, one of us is on this side of the cage and the other on that one. How long ago do you think it was exactly when we shared a common ancestor? Before behavioral isolation and reproductive isolation, before speciation, and millions of years destined us to be split apart so different. Wow. Revolution.
Kelsey, that was absolutely brilliant. Inspired. Why don't we go talk about the politics of evolution and origin of species over some coffee as we split a few atoms?
Oh my god, Titi, are you okay?
Yeah, I think so. What was that? Oh my god, is that monkey speciating right in front of our eyes?
Titi, population speciate, not individuals. Basically, each individual has its own phenotype, and then what you have to imagine all as a big group, right? And it's kind of hard to explain. But
Child, please.
A population is a group of individuals of a single species living in the same general area. The genetic makeup of a population is its gene pool, or every allele at every locus in the members of the population. Natural selection is a process that can cause a change in the allele frequency of a population because individuals that have certain traits that are suited to the environment will have higher rates of survival and leave more offspring. Individuals with these traits are said to have greater fitness, leaving more offspring than others, eventually changing the percent composition of the gene pool. In this example, each individual, a bead, is expressing only one trait of a specific character. Here the character, or feature, is color, and the traits, versions of that character, are pale blue, blue, and black. In this particular environment, pale blue and black color are favored traits. Thus, individuals with these traits left more offspring, ultimately changing the frequency of the traits in the gene pool. Originally, all three traits were equally as common, but now the blue is far less common than pale blue and black. Natural selection, however, does not create new traits. It only acts on existing traits in the population, with new traits arising only from mutations. The frequency of phenotypes in a population often follows a bell curve, with most individuals expressing an intermediate phenotype and fewer at the extreme ends. Natural selection can affect the frequency of phenotypes in a population in three ways. Directional selection occurs when individuals at one end of the spectrum are favored in an environment, causing the entire frequency curve to shift that way. Stabilizing selection occurs when individuals with extreme traits are not favored, therefore the intermediate variants become more prevalent. Disruptive selection, however, occurs when the environment favors the two extremes. This selection can eventually cause speciation, because as the frequency curve changes, reproductive barriers such as a change in behavior to breed at different times, or a change in shape to physically prevent fertilization may be produced, ultimately separating groups of individuals at the two ends into two separate species.
Alex is so lame. Can we just go back to the monkeys?
that boring stuff Alex just said can produce thousands of new species, and it's responsible for the great diversity of life on Earth. I mean, just look at the tamarins. Even in this one zoo, there are several unique species. Natural selection and speciation created the subtle differences between species of tamarins, different types of parrots, and even more intensely, parrots and monkeys. Just look at that howler monkey. Look how social it is. They act similarly to humans, playing around in their young adulthood, but they look so very different from us.
Oh my god, there's so many animals. Why are animals so cool? Animals rule. They're the cutest babies. Can you just bring all the animals to me and I will take care of them?
No, that's not a point.
On a scale of 1 to America, how free are you Friday night? I gotta take, guys!